Hi, welcome to Soundings with Sash. We're doing Slaying the Giants right now, and I'm going to talk about worthiness this evening. And I have a special guest with me tonight, and I will introduce him. He is a composer and a friend of mine here in Kansas City, and his name is Ricardo Sinestre. And hi, Ricardo.
Well, hello, Sandra.
How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Good. He was nice to come on with me this evening, and I'm actually going to have another guest join us in a little bit too. And we're just going to kind of talk about worthiness and maybe some places that we've felt unworthy, and so, where does that start and how did we get there, and what can we do to overcome that feeling of worthiness, and what the root of that is. Usually at the root of worthiness, there's some shame kind of wrapped up in there, and so we're gonna discuss that tonight. So I've asked Rick on and just to share his story, a story with us about that. And he's a local musician and has a band and all that. And I'm going to let him introduce himself and kind of tell you a little bit about him. So, Rick.
Hello, the internet, all over the world. Good to hear. Good to be here and talking to you guys. This is an interesting topic because I get the opportunity to branch off. We have a lot of spiritual talks, talk about church a lot and everything, but this is something that can take another form and take it in different dimensions when you're talking about what a man and what a person, what an earthling, what our worth is. What
does that mean?
How much can we value ourselves ethically, right? That's how I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? Like I was mentioning earlier, the word worthy only appears 66 times in the Bible. And like 40 of them are talking about who's worthy of death because of a law. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who's worthy of, and then another 20 of them are talking about that God is worthy, that only God is truly worthy of glory and abundance and wealth. And, but again, that's a very Christian,
that's a Christian view.
Yeah, that's that Christian stigmatism and dogmatisms are all involved in that. And I'm just saying, on a global scale, like whatever a man, whatever a human, whatever a person can accomplish, one should feel worthy to do so and obligated to pursue the best things, for that individual.
So tell me your story. I hear some feedback. Can you turn your thing down, possibly?
Oh, I don't know if that is. Is that
that's
better?
Okay. Yes, it's better. Okay. So tell me about Rick. So when is the very first time you think you ever felt like you needed some worth and that you were unworthy and that you needed to do something? When was like that first time?
I'm gonna just use the example of being a musician, for instance. It's always been a part of me. It's always, I was in the church choir. I was in the many singers in school. I was, I've always owned a guitar. I've always played drums. Okay, these are just things that, from age 11, as soon as I was old enough to be in the choir. You know what I mean? First time they let me sing, I was there. I was involved in all the. I really enjoyed music, but by the time you're 19 or 20 and 21, in my early 20s, there was a gap in, some of the development musically, creatively, which is the nature of any gift. I don't care if it's football. I don't care if it's
that's right.
Figure skating. There's a gap sometimes in that, you can catch up. Yeah, you can strive to be, for instance, I used to open for Tech Nine. Tech Nine's a much better rapper than me.
Okay.
But when I was 22, it was more like, wow, I probably shouldn't be trying to make a career of any kind of music because Tech Nine's such a much better rapper than me. You know?
So what did you do? I mean, what okay, so where did that worthiness, I mean, what was that wrapped up into?
Again, I'm just saying, like, I don't want to call it arrogance or even just a matter of self confidence. It's just development. Growing up, when you're young, you got stuff to learn, and I mean, they can fill books with things at 20 a 20-year-old, and they have, filled books full of information, wisdom, just experiences that add value. All these things add value to the human experience. Period.
So when was the last time that you felt a validation of worthiness?
Man, every day that I wake up, first thing I do in the morning is power on a documentary or football highlights, just something to get my brain started, where, a younger guy might have been Jerry Springer in the morning or whatever, you know what I mean?
So where
Coffee
did
and
you
a
grow up?
cigarette in the morning, huh?
Where did you grow up?
I grew up between here and Omaha, between Kansas City, Missouri, and Omaha, Nebraska was my childhood. Yeah.
What was it
My
like? I
mom,
mean, you the youngest, oldest, middle?
okay, you must understand. Me and my brother were only children. My little brother was 17 and a half years younger than me. Uh, and like my family, we're not a procreative. I don't know. Like we have a smallish kind of family for, you know, like my grandma and grandpa had 5 kids, and that's doing pretty good for back in the 40s and 50s. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got 8, 9 kids. And in my family, not nobody has really more than 3. So yeah, we
So
have a smaller
when
kind
I brought up this topic, what made you want to talk about worthiness? What was it?
because I wanted you to hear that song that I played for you earlier.
Ah,
My dad, like, and I was like, oh my, worthy is the, oh my God, I love that song. And, it gave me I kind of got the warm fuzzies, when I saw that topic and thought I could share that with you.
so just centered around a song,
Kind of,
but
that's
your
what
whole
jumped
life,
out. Like, there's
because your
other ones
life
that I've like, I should holler at her, but I've never Zoomed before. You know what I
is
mean? Facebook
this is
message,
his
yes.
first interview ever, like on this kind of medium. So definitely, you know,
I
you
talked to
know,
my therapist today on Zoom too for the first, like, when it rains, it pours. I've had to Zoom twice, thrice now. I've been Zooming.
well, then that brings us to the topic of worthiness. So, usually, when we're dealing with worthiness, there's some self esteem or some shame issues that are, wrapped up in that, and some things that have happened in our lives, that we haven't attained a certain thing that we were going for, or we stumbled, or it just depends, that we feel like we're not deserving of certain things or whatever. And I know you, Rick, and of course I know you personally, and you're a wonderful songwriter, musician. So what are you always striving for? What is going to make you feel that validation or that worthiness? I mean, when you finish a piece, is worthiness wrapped into that, or
Okay.
just
I'm gonna give you
yes?
a bit of my process. Okay. You got to sell out a little bit every time when you're considering yourself, a songwriter. You got to. Sometimes I'm gonna have to write a commercial. One of these times, this is gonna be, something thematic for a TV program or something. It ain't always about my feelings and my love for you. That's not every song. You don't get to express yourself and what you can't rally around the family on every song, you know what I mean? But there's like so an element. It just I always keep that in my mind. And there, whoa, where'd you go? No. So, but there's an element of when I write a song, what artist could this sell to? Like, like if I wanted, one particular day, if I was feeling some ACDC, I would literally write a song like, what would ACDC write a song like today? What would their song be about today? Uh, I don't know why I told you that process. What was the question again? Uh, but I mean, I guess that's kind of a self-esteem matter. But are you there? I can't hear your voice. I lost your voice. Wait
There we go. There we go. That would help. Okay. So Rick,
a minute.
worthiness. Let's go back to worthiness. So
Mhm.
tell me about a story that you have overcome something like that you were not feeling worthy of, that you weren't
Oh
feeling
my goodness. Here's a
about.
good
I want
example.
one story.
All right. The whole fact that when I graduated from high school the first time, I was determined to just pay my way through college, just do it myself. Um, I could have gone to the military, and this and that, but I was like, no, I'm going to straight to college and, work it out that way. And then, again, there is a gap in the development once you get into the real world of the thing you're trying to be and thing you're trying to pursue. Um, there were better students there, there were better athletes there, but none of them could drink beer and smoke cigarettes and play guitar like me. So that's what I did. That's what I did instead of, get a good grade in school. I left my first year in 1994.
Yeah.
My first semester, my first 2 semesters with no GPA. And, what's that? Two grand worth of debt back in 94. But that was so insurmountable to me as a person, as a young person in 1995 or whatever, that nah, I'll just work. I'll just work, maybe take a community college class here and there. You know what I mean? But by the time I was 27, 28, and I was still single. I don't still don't have any kids, but I ain't enjoying the work I'm doing either. I'm hating every minute of working in restaurants and call centers and the occasional campaign or whatever. And so I went back to school to do this kind of stuff. I love communications. I love broadcast. I love journalism. I've been doing that freelance. I used to write articles for Tech Nine and the Flavor Pack, the whole organization. I was writing and working with them in every capacity I could. I didn't even go to the Art Institute. I just wanted to be a part of uh, a voice, where they're, for the voiceless, you know,
Mhm. So
not
so what
rap though, because
happened?
I couldn't. There's no way I could have ever kept up with Tech Nine as a rapper. So I'm saying I'll just write articles. That's what I did.
What kind of articles?
Journal, like just generally journaling. It was the Flavor Pack was a magazine that
Okay.
Art Institute kids kind of spearheaded back in the early '90s, and it was all about graffiti artists, hip hop, and uh, like skateboarding culture. Poetry and that, and it was about this thick on recycled paper. They had pictures, and Tech Nine was a feature in it a lot because that was his formative years, and he would pack out those shows, and that's how they funded the magazine was with
So being a
artists.
musician, I mean, were you feeling competitive? Was that kind of something that you were missing out of your own?
Look, you were not even as a musician. Look, my songs, I love my songs. We were seriously like trying to make singles in my rap group back then. We called the Honey Dips. I'll tell you about
Mhm.
that later. But anyway, like we opened for the Roots like
Mhm.
a couple times. We opened no, we opened for the Roots once. We opened for De La Soul like 3 times. We've opened
Okay.
for Redman. We opened for the Fugees, uh Niles Barkley. You know,
Mhm. Okay.
that was what wore me down. That was where I'm like, I'm not an entertainer for real, you know.
Right.
But what it was
So
I wasn't
so
a
so yeah,
A-list
tell me.
celebrity. That's what the problem was. I'm
Okay,
still an
so
entertainer.
you're an entertainer. So how did you keep your self-esteem through that if you're feeling like, I'm not meeting up to this
You know
standard?
what?
I
That's
mean,
just like a state of mind. And again, I do it really out of love. I don't make music for money. A lot of these artists are out here working as hard as they do because they got 4 kids and a house note you know what I mean, and an ex-wife and a child. That's not. I don't have to work that hard. I can work in my basement and make music and put it on the internet without having to bust my hump and travel all over the country to support that music. You know,
but
that's
what is
the
it?
goal.
Okay, so how do you feel okay about all that? What is it in here that you feel how you feel okay about that?
Because it's my calling. Again, I was raised in the church, and there's a ministry in what all of us are doing with our lives. Even if you ain't ministering for a higher power, you know, you're ministering something. And, you know, that's why I do it. Like I'm called to um, spread the good news. You know, that's what the word gospel means is good news. That's all it is. Just spreading good
So
news.
have you ever dealt with depression or anything like that?
Oh yeah, but that's you know
How did you get over that?
I haven't. It's a financial. Only thing that makes me sad is money and the way that money is and the way people are about it. That's sad. The way people can't love people because people kill people over money more than anything else. Maybe next is love.
What is it?
Maybe next is infidelity. But I bet you the number one reason people kill each other is money. You know that's
Okay.
depressing.
What does money have to I mean, since we're talking about worthiness though, what will you think that you made it if you have a bunch of money? I mean, is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
The worthiness
Yes.
piece?
Yes. But again, like I'm not even old
Yes.
enough to feel like I'm supposed to be rich yet. I'm not. I'm not there. You know what I mean? I don't feel like if you know that's fine. Okay, I'm where I am now. I'm 42 years old. You know, I ain't rich yet, but I am hood rich, so I'm happy with that. Now
What is hoodridge? I don't
that
know what
means
that
you
means.
got more than $5 in your pocket.
Okay. Well, now
That
I
means you
know.
got well nowadays. Sorry, with inflation, it's $10. You need $10 cash in your pocket. You hood rich.
Okay. So again, let's go back to I mean, our subject matter is worthiness.
Mhm.
So when you see somebody else and you think of the word worthiness, what are you thinking? I mean, what do you see? What encapsulates that for you?
Okay, again, I'm gonna just go ahead and bust it down. You know, you asking the hard questions like Dr. Phil or somebody. So,
That's the point. Hello, Rick. That's the point of the show.
okay,
Hey,
so just
is
listen.
anybody here, drop some comments on what you think worthiness is. Come on, audience. What do you encapsulate worthiness to be? Or a lack of worthiness? Where is it, that you felt worthy or unworthy? But go
Mhm.
ahead. Go ahead, Rick.
You know, again, I kind of lend myself, and again, I've been practicing Eastern philosophies. You know, for the last
Mm-hmm.
20 or so years, and
Okay.
I love karma. I love the idea, the concept. You know, it's You know, it's the totality of a person's actions and conduct during successive incarnations, you know? Uh,
Break that down because I have no idea what you just said.
well, look, you can believe in,
Exactly, because I want to relate. So what does that mean?
you can totally believe in reincarnation, even in a, you know, single life continuum. Like a baby,
Like a
first of all,
transformation of
yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking about transformation,
I look
Right.
at it even like this, down to your cells. You not know that every single cell in your body has been replaced over the course of like a 10-year span. You're a new person completely every 10 years,
Every 10 years. That's right.
or something like that. I don't know the
So,
math there, but your body's always replacing cells. There's power in that. I think about even that, but you know, I also think I had, prior lifetimes too. I kind of have flashbacks sometimes. But again, I'm there. I'm with that. I'm ready to
okay.
see those things.
Okay. So is that what gives you your peace through anything that
Oh
you
yeah.
encounter, that you're not feeling that worthiness in something? Have you ever felt like, well, who am I to, or maybe when I do this, I can do that, or I'm just, or how can I
Every day,
possibly?
every day is a deliberate journey, so that is not a struggle. You know
There
what I
you
mean? Yeah,
go.
sure. But
Yes.
every day I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and get out and do
That's
what I've
that's what
been
I'm getting you to. I'm bringing you.
what I've
Yes.
been commenting on people on Facebook for talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and do exactly what I said that people should be doing then today. But I don't know.
There
Um,
we go. So Paul says worthiness, I think, is about a person's actions or inactions, but also it's not for us to judge a person's worthiness. That's right.
mm,
It's not for us. It's our own. That's where it stems from, right? In
yeah,
ourself. It's our self worth. It's what we think about ourselves that's important. Is right?
yeah, good or bad. I mean, good or
Good.
bad. So, you know what I mean?
Well,
There are.
and the bad comes with that shame again. Like, who am I to think this, or who am I to think that
I
about
mean all
myself?
the way. I mean all the way to the extreme of that, like where there's a lot of toxic people, and I don't mean to harp on this, but you 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 got to watch toxic personalities where it's like this is the thing that I do and I do it best, and it's why I didn't like Kobe Bryant. Is that that's all I'm talking about? Like someone who makes it hard to be good at what you're doing because they're so this is my thing,
Right, but that's where the whole comparison thing comes in, right? So to feel worthy in yourself, you're just striving to be a better you, right? Like, aren't we
Yeah.
always striving to be a better us?
Just the
And
same people, the same kind of people. It's like I love you so much. You can't be with anyone else. That's that same kind of toxic thinking. That's all I'm saying. And that's the extreme of it.
it's just
You are
extreme of it.
you're worthy of anything that you set your mind to do. But by God, be fair. Play
Yeah,
fair in life.
right.
Michael Jordan, play fair. You know, don't gamble. Don't be gambling on your team. We're gonna win by 37 points. Watch. I mean,
So I just wanted to hear a story that you were that you went through and overcoming, like, maybe not feeling that worthiness, and
going back to
just really.
college. That's what I was referring. Like, yeah. Um. Uh. I finished. Um. I had to go to rehab first, though. You see, because I think um the fact that when I was young, I had a drinking problem. I had my focus all about partying. It was all about the sex and the drugs and the rock and roll. Okay,
Right.
rock and roll was the most important, but the sex and the drug was first in the sentence. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well,
uh,
addictions, I mean, do you think that addictions sometimes are wrapped up into some shame opinions of ourselves, not
nah,
us
because
not
I was a
needing
good
something?
kid. I was on Rumspringer when I was a kid. You don't understand. I gave myself brain damage. I was a great kid in high school. I got good grades. I was an ROTC. You know what I mean? I didn't start trouble, but I made it though. I
Yeah.
made good trouble.
Yeah.
I started book clubs in high school. But when
That's
I got
good.
out of high school, like I'm old enough to drink now. who's with me? You know what I'm saying? So, I had a good, and again, I like any kid does. And I wasn't like, I moved out at 18. I'm Parental responsibility was never like, my parents was like, okay, bye. We have another one now. We have a 2-year-old now. Enjoy your life, son. Don't be coming up in here bringing a bunch of, you know, kids that you can't take care of, and don't do that.
I mean, how'd you make it on your own?
Like I said, I had jobs. I had roommates and jobs and friends, and being a young adult. I was never in my 20s. I was never an adult, but I was a young adult, and I was trying to be responsible with my, lifestyle. It was a lifestyle, but.
So during COVID, how are you doing with this? How is this going for you?
It's kind of a godsend because there's kind of communicating. I like being available, but not always in your face. Not always, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Nope, I don't know what you mean. Tell me, what do you mean?
It's just hard to make the scene all the time. I had the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other day we had a gig one night, and the next night, our buddy was playing with his new band. And the stipulation was, oh, I'm gonna show up at you guys' show, you show up at ours. He didn't show. So we didn't go.
Oh, well.
I mean, I kind of felt bad, but we could get a deadly virus,
So Jason had said, and I wanted to just say something about this, how others think more of us, our worthiness than we do of ourselves. I mean, don't you feel that? I mean, I know you as a musician. I know that you're a really good musician. Do you feel like you're a really good musician?
I know that I'm not.
Now, okay, now here we go. Now that's where I was getting to. I was like, okay, what?
No, I'm not a good musician. I can't even sight read. I'm a composer. Like, I write. Okay. I'm an arranger.
Okay. And that is different than being a good musician.
I play by ear. To me, being a musician means
you can read. Gotcha.
Here's your sheet music.
Right.
Okay, and I know the whole song and know the parts, and you sing it. You take the fifth, you take the seventh, and
so okay. So now we're on to something. Now, so do you feel like you're not as worthy as another person that can sight read?
Okay, again, not to play Broadway. You're not gonna see me in a band on Broadway. Right. But I could play Madison Square Garden any day of the week,
Well, there you go.
I could open for Beck, by golly, I could tour with.
All right, Rick, I'm trying to get some authenticity here, bud. I'm trying to pull it. Come on, buddy.
What? What do you mean?
Come on, I know.
Ask me the question that you're trying to get.
I did. I'm trying to get to your root, like where you're at right now. How you feeling?
Again, just I'm looking forward to look, we're really in a process of making our music radio ready, putting it all on every platform. I want to mix it all down. It's stuff that I've done around the house with homemade tools, tools to make homemade music, not homemade tools. Not that good. But,
so what's your stumbling block, you think?
Oh, we're just, again, where it's going to happen. And our new drummer, who we've only worked with 2 or 3 months, he's a great resource for because a real studio, like the guys that we do work with, it's pricey. And this is I have a lot of material. We're not mixing down just 5 or 6 songs. I'm trying to mix down 30 or 40 songs. So
if you were going to tell somebody that wasn't feeling worthy in their creative space, what advice would you give them?
You always have to have heroes, and your
Okay.
heroes, they validate you, even if your hero is God, because once you start talking about God, you're talking about something all powerful, all knowing, all omnipotent, you know,
Yes.
able to see all, do all, and know all. Okay. But, mine is like Jimi Hendrix or somebody, my heroes are like uh Bobby Boo Bland or somebody, just, people that made amazing, culturally relevant, uplifting, empowering, even political music,
So your advice to somebody would be to find somebody that's a hero that they can emulate.
Yeah,
So
like if a lot of people don't, if you don't respect something, it's hard to respect yourself. What do you respect enough to value yourself?
there
Here's
you
another
go.
Bob Marley. Bob Marley. You
I
know,
love Bob Marley.
you wake up every day, listen to some Bob Marley. You better feel good about yourself the rest of that day. By God, he didn't even get to
Because
live to
he
be
says what? What does Bob Marley say?
one love, one heart. Let's get
One
together.
love. There we go. I'm pulling you. I'm getting you. Come on. One love. One love of what though? One of yourself first.
Right.
Like there's no doubt Bob Marley loved himself first, right?
Well, yeah.
You gotta love yourself first before you can love others, right?
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
that self-worth, that worthiness that you feel and hear is really important, for you to be able to share that, that light that you bring, but you have to get rid of some things. Like if you're not feeling worthy in where you're at in your life and in your status and anything, and you haven't dealt with your shame coat, right? You got to get rid of the shame coat. You got to get rid of some places
That a Dr.
that
Phil
you feel
word?
like you haven't, met up to. What'd you say?
Is that a Dr. Phil word?
Are you making fun of me trying to be Dr. Phil? I'm trying to be Dr. Phil. But what I'm just trying to get you to is like,
Go ahead.
you got to link them, you got to link that together. You got to see that shame is tied into worthiness. Like shame, is a place that we feel, that we kind of disconnect from other people. So we have to feel that connection, but if you have a shame coat on, if you have shame, you're usually not going to connect with other people because you just want to kind of be hit,
Mm-hmm.
over here. Usually people that are dealing with shame and worthiness are hiding themselves. They're not coming, they're not bringing themselves out around people or connecting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just wanted to talk about, because I know you've dealt with some of that. I know you dealt with some of that. I mean, I know personally because we're friends. So I know that, I didn't hear from you for a minute.
I'm a PK. I'm a preacher's kid too, right?
I know you're a PK. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that worthiness has got to be in here, right?
Yeah. And I just again, like I said, I get to watch a lot of the dynamics of people who are in spiritual chaos or, just, in spiritual healing, even just,
So what should they do? What is your advice?
Well, shoot, do what I did, convert to Zen Buddhism, and quit wearing so much. You know what I'm saying? Have a salad. And
Quit worrying so much and have a salad.
yeah, man.
Quit worrying so much. Now I'm gonna quote you later then. Quit worrying so much and have a salad.
Right,
That's
man.
what Rick said to do.
Don't, I like, again, like stress and again, all those negative, like I love Rick and Morty. And the main reason why is because that episode where they go get detoxed.
See, I don't know Rick and Morty at all
Oh,
because
Jesus.
that's not even my bag. That is so not in my realm.
Yeah,
Which
I
I'm
know.
sure maybe, hey, do you guys know Rick and Morty? Please tell me if you do, because I have no idea. I know that they're little weird looking,
They
cartoon
are based off.
characters.
They are based off of
I
Doc
want to
and
know.
Marty. Off of the cartoon is based off of Doc and Marty from Back to the Future. So,
Oh, what?
yes,
See, I didn't even know that.
they are
Something
a
new.
satirized Family Guide version of
Oh,
Doc and Marty.
I see. I see. I see.
But there's an episode. There's an episode that they go to this space spa that removes all their toxins,
Oh,
and
okay.
they are just, oh my god, they're walking around just basically speaking in tongues, just you know,
Now I'm gonna have to. Okay, does anybody know what episode he's talking about? Because now I'm gonna have to look that up. Do they feel better?
their
Do they
chicken
feel
pox.
worthy after? I mean, we're talking about worthiness. Do they feel worthy after?
This kind of goes there. You kind of went. This kind of goes there, actually.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to know more then.
Well,
That's
because then what happens is the negative, the all the toxins gain sentience, and basically it was evil Morty or toxic Morty and toxic Rick, and in the long run they had to re-merge just so the others wouldn't be destroyed by the fact, well, this person gets to be me, but completely whole and completely holistic and completely healthy. And this one gets to be the darkest, most.
come on, audience. Do you guys know anything about Rick and Morty in this episode? I've got to find it now. So
There's only
we
three
went
seasons.
way off topic, and that's okay. Hey, it's my Monday night.
And I'm not trying to watch the game either. The game is on, but
Yeah, the Chiefs game.
I
Go
think
Chiefs.
I'm very much thinking we're gonna lose. In my simulation, we lose this, and I usually don't watch
We're not
highlights.
gonna lose. Oh
Very
no.
possible. Oh, we could
Oh no,
lose to the
no.
Ravens.
No.
Oh,
Now we're talking football. Okay. Now we're way off topic. And it's okay.
we're worthy. We're
We can do what
worthy
we
of
want.
victory.
We can do what we want. It's my show. I can do what I want.
We are worthy of praise.
We are worthy. That is the thing. Is I just wanted to talk about worthiness. And he like found the one. Like I'm gonna show it. You can see I can't pick it up. But apparently, so what's the end of it? So they get detoxed, and then what happens?
Like I said, they split. What happens is the spa treatment they had them trapped like ghosts on Ghostbusters, but they got out and they come and find the real Rick and Morty. And what Rick has to do is just merge them back together because he didn't feel right about them having to live as like he needed his toxins back to be fully Rick.
Okay.
But it's not a happy ending. Rick and Morty doesn't do happy endings. It's not about that.
Well, see, I wouldn't know. I don't know.
It's not all wrapped up in a tight bow or anything.
Oh darn! Well, is life wrapped up in a tight bow? Never.
Yeah, I think that way.
Life is not wrapped up in a tight bow. I mean, our journeys are so different, and our journeys can be so interesting, transformative. That sounds like they did a transformation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
And that's what we get through in life. And that's why I wanted to talk about worthiness. Some of us live with this shame thing that we're not worthy of good things, that we're not worthy of, what other people, what we think is successful. So we're always striving to kind of strive for somebody else's worthiness, not our own. And that's why it's so important for us to figure that out. Like, I'm me, I'm who I am. I like me, I like in here, I'm worthy. So, just telling yourself, I don't have to, keep up with the Joneses. Keeping up with the Joneses is just not a fun place to be. Did you ever do that? Did you ever have that experience where you're trying to, compare your life to
I
somebody
think that
else?
was more as a kid.
Hmm?
When I was, when you're a teenager, it's who dresses the best and who's the most popular kid and the football star.
Right.
And uh,
Right.
I think I was so, because I was made to be so square in school. You know what I mean? I kind of stuck out because of my raising. Um, so I got
Yeah.
that
What was
same
that like
kind
in that
of.
pastor's kid? What was that like?
My dad and mom weren't the pastor of our church. My grandpa is. My dad
Oh,
was the minister of music. My
okay.
dad is the one that led the whole choir and the whole council
Oh,
choir.
wow.
Uh, Again, he doesn't even make music anymore. He's just a full-time chef in Vegas. But my little
Oh.
brother has picked up the mantle, and he's working on his master's degree in the School
Mhm.
of Music in Vegas. But so, like I say, that's just all in my blood, and but that's not what I was known for in school either. In school, it was kind of being a political voice, starting book clubs, black readings, authors, and uh, whatever I could do in school. Student council. I was on yearbook all 4 years. You know what I mean? I had some
Right.
sway in my school,
Right.
but it wasn't because I was a football star. It wasn't because I had all the new Jordans. You know what I'm saying? It was I was trying to have some substance. I was in ROTC. I should be a master sergeant in the Army right now, at least.
Okay.
But
So that's what you're saying I should be. So you're comparing
according to
yourself to
I'm not
yourself.
I'm
To
not
yourself.
Army
She
material.
just
I'm no more Army material than I am NFL material.
Sorry, Jason, I left your comment up here. And when we are with some level of shame, yep, we don't hold ourselves where we really should. We hang our head lower and don't realize
How
how
true our
true our
worthiness
worthiness
really
is.
is.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That is right. We're our own worst critic, right? I
Mhm.
mean, I've had some things that were shameful, like
Two
in
girl tale.
I'm not gonna tell what. No.
Laughing. She laughing. Yeah. Yeah. Jokes.
Right. No, but there's some been shameful things, that we experience, and then we equate ourselves to what we think we're supposed to be, but that's usually comes with not being authentic and having a mask on in the first place. So that shame usually comes from something that we think we're supposed to be. Guilt is another thing. Like, guilt is kind of separate from that. Guilt is something that you actually did and you kind of can get over. But shame is a whole nother ball game, because you're going to continue to label yourself whatever that is. If, like, you were told when you were young you were stupid, or you didn't look, you looked funny, or those kind of things. Those are the shame places. Guilt is when you actually kind of do something, and
Yeah.
that doesn't stick
Yeah.
with you.
I don't have that problem. I've never been Catholic.
That was wrong. Just saying. Anyway, well, Nora, my friend, is supposed to join us in a second, and she'll be on here in a second to talk about her story
Nora's
of
coming.
worthiness. So, huh?
I'm playing Nora's entrance music.
so we all, dealing with worthiness. I just wanted to talk about it because, I mean, don't you ever go through that where you compare yourself to something else, and that comparison thing, can be, wrapped in that worthiness thing of, yeah, I shoulda, coulda, would have, how could I, I am just all of those things. No?
Me? I thought you were asking our studio audience.
I am asking them too. I'm asking you and them. You and them.
Look, and I'm gonna just start giving rock star answers. I just have always in my heart.
Rockstar answers. Oh, what are those?
I've always in my heart felt like I'm trying to do what's right for the world. Does that make sense? Is that too Bono? You know what I'm saying? Like early in my life, like, you know what I'm saying, I was raised by all this, you know, all these preachers whose ethics were questionable. You know what I mean? Like I was raised into a cult, you know, and you know, you gotta be, and to be fair, it wasn't, but for a
It's an
young
organization, a
for a
religious
young
organization.
African American man who didn't want to be programmed because it's 1980 and things change in communities and in the world and in, you know, in everybody's faith walk, the whole realm that is religion, man. Things evolve. If religion evolves too, you know, and so I was just, you know, I was at that age where I wasn't
Well,
going to
what are
be.
you about your foundation of integrity and of
Yeah, me.
values and
Integrity
stuff?
means
Mhm.
living right and doing right by other people. It don't mean
That's right.
leading a flock of people to do your will, to be at your beck and call, to wash your car for you. That's what kids are for too. You have kids and do that, okay? Like I grew up in a church with a man that had no kids.
Hmm.
Not saying it was bad, but weird, rare, not normal. But again, an example for me, here's a good spiritual leader, never had one child of his own. I have an aunt who's a principal, been a principal. She has a doctorate in education. Her and her husband never had children. Never could. One of them was sick and the other one wasn't trying to work. She had thousands of children to shepherd over,
Right. So
you know?
she found her purpose in that. Right. So
Had a master's degree to finish, you know?
so there you go. Well, and where are you at in your spirit now? I mean, what
Zen, very Zen. All is Zen here.
then? Okay.
Jesus
Now
is
you
the
said you had
sweetest
a
name I
scripture
know.
for me earlier. You told me you had a scripture for me earlier.
Oh, I was like I said, I just did a little research. Um, what was the one? Just a hot second here. You know, the one that I think that this Revelations one is super powerful, and I think it's John John right Revelations,
John wrote Revelations. Yeah.
and the the story of, like, you know, in the coming of the falling of the skies, you know, the whole biblical revelation story. um he says that, you know, the people that want to you know, come before God saying with a loud voice, worthy is the lamb slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing. Those are all, I mean, is that what we mean by worthy? Those things, worthy of those things, you know, or just, you know, worthy to be a dad? Is that what we're
Well,
saying?
that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about worthy to feel good about yourself, just to do
Worthy to be a
whatever,
husband, worthy to be, you know,
worthy to be who you are, worthy to be who you are, and not be somebody else. And
babysitter for, you know what I'm saying, a paid babysitter. You know, what do you mean by worthy?
yeah, exactly. Sometimes comparing ourselves, yeah, the only person we should compare ourselves to is the previous version of us.
Mm,
Don't keep up with
awesome.
the Joneses. Yep.
That's
Because
awesome,
the
JC.
Joneses are probably in debt.
Thank you.
The Joneses are in debt. I'm just saying. I know this. I know them.
And again, growing up was really getting to a point where, you learn how you get your prescription for F it all.
Yeah.
When you turn about 30 to 33, 34, you
What?
get your prescription for F it all.
What's that?
It's a prescription you get as soon as you turn 30, 34, 35 years old. Every doctor, you don't even need a doctor. You just get a prescription called F it all.
It took me a minute. I got it now. I understood it now.
You're trying to keep it PG, don't you?
I was like, what? I'm sitting there like truly thinking of a pharmaceutical because I come from a medical background and I'm going, I don't know that one. I know
you ain't heard, girl. You ain't heard.
My prescription for that came when I turned 50, not 30. Just saying. So that does happen, but at the same time,
dumped hard enough. You didn't get dumped hard enough, I guess.
That is definitely subjective. But what it is that guess what? I felt the best I ever felt when I got that prescription because I felt that confidence. I felt I got rid of a lot of things that I had holding me down, those burdens, that worthiness, that keeping up, the different masks of being who I wasn't. And so, because I've been in an organization as well. And so when you're bogged down by that, and then you have some shame wrapped in there, and then, you've got the powers that be that want to keep you in that place too, it can mess you up. But that's where you have to find your inner truth. The inner truth. You got to figure out who you are. You got to strive for being who you're authentically supposed to be. And how do you get there? You got to get rid of the shame. You got to get rid of comparing yourself. You've got to get rid of just all of those different, the baggage that you have, those big heavy rocks that other people put on you. It's so important for you not to be anybody else but yourself. And so worthiness ties into that, I guess
social media messes with me for that too.
Huh?
Social media will mess with you when you're
social media is not your friend in worthiness.
Yeah.
If you're looking at your Facebook every day just to see how worthy you are, you're going to be in big trouble. If you didn't get enough likes on whatever, or if your song that you posted didn't get any likes or shared or whatever, what are you going to do about that?
Tell you what, I could post a scripture and a whole sermon, like usable one, and give it to everybody. Just a girl posts a pretty picture in a new blouse, 1,000 likes.
I know.
You can really give your all amount. You preach a whole sermon and you get 2-3 likes, and you wonder if it's still worth it. It's still worth it.
It is.
Them 2 likes might have uplifted someone.
If you in yourself thought it was worthy, then it was.
Pretty girls take pictures all the time.
Who are you talking about?
I ain't talking about you unless it's you. I ain't talking about you unless I'm talking about
you. Yeah. I had to go through that. I had to go through that whole thing. That's a transformation thing. But that's a whole nother ball game. So that worthiness, but guess what? A couple of years ago, I wouldn't have taken a selfie of myself and posted it on Facebook. You know why? Because I didn't feel worthy. You know why? Because I had other people telling me that I wasn't, and I listened to them. And that's the other thing. That's you don't need to listen to anybody else on your worth. Like it is. Huh?
And that prescription showed up in the mail.
I got that prescription. And Jason said he wants to get one of those prescriptions. So that's pretty good. Yeah. So I was going to have another guest on, and I guess maybe she ran late or something happened, and that's okay. I'll have her on for something else. But thank you guys for joining us this evening. And thank you, Rick, for being a wonderful guest. And
always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure. And oh, we did not promote his band, which we probably should have. So you may promote it now.
Check us out on the platform. Just find me on Facebook. I'm Ricardo Sinestri on Facebook too. We're called Black Magic Rabbit Foot. That's 2 words, Black Magic Rabbit Foot.
Oh, I forgot my hat. Anyway, I got a hat.
Just like it. Hold on.
I got a hat.
I'll show you your hat. What hat you have?
Got me a hat.
You got the original.
The foot.
That's our
nickname. Thank you guys. We were just, as you. Oh, wait a minute. I have him. My guest. My guest is coming on.
She's here.
Hold on. We can't say goodbye yet. Hold up. I'm going to add y'all to my stream. Are you guys ready? Oh, hello. Hi, welcome.
I'm sorry. We were waiting. I thought you were going to bring me on.
No, you guys never popped on.
Oh, I had to hit I just hit the button. I just found the button.
That was me, technically.
Hey, welcome to my friends, Nora. And David. Well, he's gone now, but thank you. Welcome. Hey,
thank you.
Longer. I want to hear your story, so we're definitely going to stay on longer. So, Rick, did you want to stay, or did you want me to have you exit, or were you going to stick around?
No, it's good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
I am kind of parched. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys. Yes.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Rick. We appreciate it. All right. Take care.
I enjoyed it myself. Love.
Peace out to you. Hello, Nora.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
We just found the button.
I'm going, where's my other guest? We're just chatting at that point. So ran out of stuff to say. So Nora, when I asked you to come on and talk about worthiness, what was the first thing that kind of popped in your head?
Well, it kind of made me think of maybe the first time that I did feel unworthy and recognized it. I was pretty young, probably about 17 or so. I learned that the hard way by another person making me feel that I wasn't worthy. So it was a pretty disturbing feeling. So it was hard to deal with at that age. Didn't really have any mentors or spiritual leaders at the time. So it was a real struggle. So it took fast forward years later. I want to say many years later, probably in my mid-20s. I was church hunting, always church hunting. And I would try so many different churches, different religions. Never really felt very comfortable for one reason or another. And then maybe just one sermon. I was in Raleigh, North Carolina, and they were talking about worthiness, and who you are as a Christian, you being a daughter or a son of God made you worthy. So that's when I decided to not ever feel that way again. And that if I was made to feel that way, then, it wasn't real to me. It was somebody else trying to make me feel less. And I really, really realized, that my worthiness comes from God. He's who makes me feel that I'm always worthy. I am his daughter. And being a Christian and a believer, I guess I didn't feel that until I was a true believer, that I followed Christ and understood exactly who he was and his role in my life. So that's kind of sums it up. But it was a pretty lonely feeling until I finally figured that out. Very lovely.
Well, what did it do to your confidence and your self-esteem, that worthiness? I mean, was it tied in with other things or?
Well, sure. A number of things.
Mhm.
I got to listen to about half of your broadcast because I was on small group. and I am sending out a shout out to my small group because they're watching.
Hello.
So, yeah, they're going to take notes. A number of things I think throughout my life. I guess everyone, if you're on planet Earth, it's a difficult time, or it can be a difficult time. Some of us have little different upbringings than others. I had a good childhood, although it was probably a little rocky compared to others. So I guess, I want to say 17 years old, I started to feel the first time of not being worthy, but maybe I could even go back to 4 or 5 years old.
Okay.
Through relatives and things, saying things around me or even to me that made me feel less.
Right.
So, right. And so at that time, I didn't really have anybody in my ear saying, well, that's just not true. I had no spiritual leadership at that time.
Right.
But just different things throughout my life, I think, made me feel not worthy. But again, like I said, once I understood and knew who Jesus really was, it became a large part of my life. Well, it became my life. And there were times that I pushed him away. He never left me, of course, but there were many times I pushed him away because I didn't feel worthy. And a part of me had maybe even felt guilty, like what you were talking about earlier. That was probably a big part of it many times in my life when I pushed him away. It's like, no, Jesus, you don't want to see this. you don't want to see this. I'm not being very nice right now. So, but he loves us no matter what, at all times. Right. So, and I've learned that, and I've got a lot of peace through this. It's given me a lot of peace and lets me know who I am in my own worth. So
what made you seek after him? Even though you weren't feeling worthy, and like you said, you didn't want Jesus to touch that. What made you seek after him, and how did you get there? How did you overcome and actually reach out to him and find him again in your life, or find that peace that he
this last time you helped me with that. So
not to mention me.
Yeah, very interesting. I guess this was, I want to say it was about 3 years ago. About 3 years ago, I reached out to my good friend, Sandy. It was kind of a desperate need, kind of felt like I was on my knees, alone. And I needed Jesus. Do not make me cry. Yeah, that's a testimony. It'll make you cry. So through all that, yeah, I did. I found him completely. And it was the best thing in my whole life. So when you're suffering and you're on your knees, Jesus never leaves you, but boy, do you cling to him.
Yeah. Well, you said something important, though. You reached out to someone. And I think that's a place that people get stuck, is they don't. They feel so much shame that they're not even willing to reach out to someone else to tell them how they're feeling or what they're going through. And so I really always, say that, reach out. If you're feeling some kind of way, you need to reach out to other people. They are there to help you. If you don't know Jesus, and if you don't have that inner, peace, the only way that you can help get you there is sometimes it's another person. I've been there in my life. I've been there where I had to reach out and have other people pray for me, or, just love on me. Sometimes you don't have to say much, right? So sometimes when somebody's going through something, we don't always have the right answers for that anyway, right? I couldn't tell you, or you can't tell me, how to feel worthy. We have to feel that in ourselves. We have to find it ourselves. It's not a way, I could tell you, girl, you're worthy, you got this, but if you don't believe it, you're not going to believe it. Like you don't know that worthiness or that feeling until you truly grasp that yourself. No one else can do it for you. Nobody can get you there. They can help you, and they can love on you, but they can't get you there. Nobody's going to validate you enough to feel that worthiness unless you feel it in yourself. And so what's changed? I mean, now that you have gotten yourself to that place, I mean, what has changed for you?
What's changed is I don't feel alone anymore. I do know that I have a rock that I can lean on, and it's always God. And through the personal life and works of Jesus, I'm guaranteed. I'm guaranteed. I'm one of God's daughters. I'm one of his soldiers, little princess warrior, if you will. I'll always help him go after that sheep. That little sheep that doesn't know that they're worthy. If I can, say one kind thing to somebody, because I know how much it meant to me. So, I got a little runny nose because you made me teary. Hang on. Good gracious.
Good thing it's a home joke. So thank you guys, whoever's joined us. I mean, tell me a story, about, reach out to people. That's it. I mean, we all need to feel connected. But at the same time, that self-worth that you need to get, you do have to strive for it yourself. You have to have an action. You're a participant in your own life, and you have to figure that out. You are the one that controls you. You're the one that's going to get that peace. You're the one, God wants to give it to you. God wants to send people to you. But if you're not willing, and if you're not connecting, you just got to reach out. And I know right now what we're all going through in this thing, if you've lost your job, I mean, I know a lot of people have lost their jobs at this time, and their whole identity was their profession, so just think of their worthiness factor. I know people had to reinvent their whole careers at the moment, and
it's been really tough.
Yeah.
For so many people.
Yeah. So, and of course, I'm not trying to say too much because of course I know you. So, but I know, I mean, I've seen you. What's been really cool is, you had a relationship and you've gotten married since then and all of that. So,
exactly. I finally realized that I am worthy, finally realized that. So just never believed it for the longest time. It took me 50 some years. That's all.
Well, earlier, I don't know if you heard Rick said, when did we get that prescription?
Yeah.
And it's true. You have to get to that point. You do actually have to get to that point of going, obviously the script that I am trying to follow is not working. That script that we have in our head of who we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to be doing, the labels that have been put on us, I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, I had, the wife label, the mother label, the career label. I had all of these labels that I was trying to meet the standards of. And then I was comparing that level to somebody else, I used to bring Little Debbie cakes to the sport team things, the snack thing, And then of course, there's this other mother that's got, she's making homemade cupcakes with, her own cream cheese, whatever,
Yeah, that would have been me.
I would have been comparing myself to you. And it's funny, just that little thing can like make your worthiness factor. Like I'm not a good mother. I'm not a good this. I'm not a good that. I mean, we can get in such a rut with that. So even though, the kids did like Little Debbie's, just saying.
Of course they do. I do.
But the thing is that like you said, the first time that you remember feeling that was 4 or 5, and you're not old enough to handle that or know what to do with that, that criticism or whatever it is that was put on you. So it's important, I always bring up in the show, it's important for you to get some professional counseling. It's important to you to go to your pastor, to go to somebody, for counseling, because you need to work through that. You need to get unstuck from that place. If you continually do this cyclical, the same pattern, you go around the same mountain, then that means you haven't, there's something that needs to be worked out. So I always think it's so important, if that's even bringing just God into it, and, seeking after your higher power, your God, seeking after Jesus, Jesus, he's, pretty amazing, but you also have to be discipled there too. Right. And Nora,
absolutely.
You have to learn about what his character is. If you don't know who Jesus is, then you have to learn what his character is like. So you still need some kind of discipleship or some kind of,
absolutely. I go to our local church for my guidance. I'm just a babe in Christ, is what I would call myself. Although I've always known who he is, but I never knew him,
right,
until recently, in the last few years. So I really depend on my local church, and I love my church. And God, and Jesus says, to love your wife like you love the church, right. And the church is the people.
The church is the people, right?
The church is the people.
Building walls, right?
Right. So I depend on that, and I adore my small group. They're there. They're people that I can depend on if I need something spiritually, or just somebody to lean on, or to bend an ear, or to share lumpia with. So,
oh man, I wish you could share some lumpia with me right now. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, they do love the lumpia. And I like adore them too. If I have questions, I can always go to any church member. A lot of folks say, well, you can be spiritual and you can have a relationship with God and Jesus, and you don't have to go to church. Well, that's true. That's absolutely true. But for me and for so many others, I need that. It helps to hold me accountable. Yeah. It helps me, and I'm learning. I don't believe I would learn as much if I did this on my own. I mean, these folks can be more experienced than myself and in, how to get around the Bible, just basics. You can really, I depend on my church for so many things, probably uncountable things. The feelings that I get when I go there, there's just so much spirituality happening. And it's overwhelming at times. I really can't tell you, every time I go to church, I cry, and it's out of joy. It's joyful tears, So, again, if I need something, I know my small group's there. They're wonderful people. I just got offline with them doing our small group Bible study. And I can tell you, David and I, we depend on those people, right? They're taking the same walks with us. We share, and it's just wonderful having it. They're our brothers and sisters in Christ. So I totally recommend that to, don't do it alone. That's what the churches are for.
Don't do it alone. Right. And that's, kind of, we all have different perspective, and we all at different places. And, if you need that, whenever I'm feeling kind of low like that too, I will go to church, and I'll go to a worship service, and that fills me up, that fills up my tank sometimes that I need to have filled up. And, you don't know you need it sometimes, and you do. And of course, getting prayer from friends, friends helping each other, but that worthiness, comes in, God does help with that worthy factor. He does help, to fill a space, right?
That's right.
Hi, Lance. Thanks for joining. But be connected, being connected to other people, and being in fellowship, whether that means in wall building or just like this,
Right.
I mean, this has been huge for me in the last couple months. I mean, I don't think I could have gotten through, a lockdown and quarantine without having a connection with other people, like I have. It's been pretty cool. But filling that place, like you said, the worthiness, usually our worthiness is tied in again to some shame things that we think about ourselves that have labeled on us and put on us. And, there's nothing like getting rid of that. And, there's so many resources out there. So I'm just going to say, Google shame and worthiness and those places, and you're going to find lots of podcasts. Brene Brown is an author that I listen to, and she's really good. She's a psychologist. She has a PhD, and she talks about the shame with the worthiness and finding that peace in here and your higher power and God. And, it helps. It just does, don't let yourself be empty and void, of those things,
No.
So, I mean, so thank you, Nora, so much for telling your story. And I mean, I know we didn't get into situation, we didn't get into your circumstances, and that's okay, because we all have a journey that's probably similar, right? I mean,
absolutely. If you live on planet Earth, you've got a story.
But it's about overcoming. It's about overcoming that, and it's about being real about it, and admitting it. We can be in denial and push that stuff down. And that's really what the show is always about, trying to bring that stuff up and sharing it, getting it out, and getting that healing. Because you're, just like a wound, heals from the inside out. If you've ever gotten a cut, the inside, if it scabs over and it doesn't heal on the inside, then you're going to have issues with it. Right. And you'll get some scars. But definitely, a wound, have it be open and get the air and get the right treatment for it. And so if that means you need to go to a psychologist, if that means you need to go to your pastor or anyone for help, I just really encourage you. I wish I'd have done it earlier. I waited till I was 50, like you just said, Nora, right?
Yes.
I waited till I was about 50 to take care of all that.
No, I was 52. So,
and that's painful.
And it's never too late. That's the good thing about God and Jesus. They're not even 3 inches away from you. They're right there. You just reach out, and it doesn't matter when because it's never too late. Absolutely never too late.
It isn't ever too late.
It's always a perfect time. Always. Right. And don't here's something good. Don't ever feel like, well, I need to get myself straight before I try to find a good church, or I just need to do this first or make that right before. No, you know what? Go right to God. You can be busted up with just holes all in your soul. He's going to help you no matter what state you're in or what condition you're in. You don't have to be perfect. You as a matter of fact, he'd rather you not be, so never wait. Never wait. Anytime is a good time.
That's right.
Yes.
And he says, come to me, all who are weary. So that, I mean, I really, you can reach out to him anytime. You're not, and that worthiness, we do feel unworthy. I'm not worthy enough to go. And that's not true.
Well, he didn't want to hear from me. I'm just a mess. Of course he does. Of course he does.
He's like, okay, I've been waiting. Where you been?
Exactly. I've been right here waiting for you.
Okay. He's a gentleman. He won't
He's
shove
very,
in there.
very patient. He's very patient.
So I definitely, encourage you to reach out to any friends you have to pray with you or to help you seek his face. And if you don't know him, find out who he is and try to seek him or ask somebody that who does. and that's so important. And it's so important to have wonderfderful friends and that will encourage you and help you through that. Your worthiness, still, you need to build that. You need, and it's all on you. Your worthiness is on you. I mean,
you have
God
to take that step.
Yeah, God can help instill that and give you a foundation, but it is on you to seek after it.
That's right.
So, okay. Well, thank you so much. And I know, I'm sorry I went way late.
It's okay. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for joining. I'm sorry that we had some technical difficulties on that.
It was me. We needed to scroll up and find the button. I was waiting. I was like,
where is she? So, amen to that. Amen to us.
Amen. And thank you for being there for me in the times that I desperately needed.
Of course.
Yep. You opened that little door for me.
And I know somebody that's been there for me as well. So it's helpful to have wonderful, beautiful friends.
Yes, it is.
Be connected. So you guys have a beautiful week. Yeah. And next week I have a relationship coach on. His name is David Lee. He's going to talk about narcissism.
Oh, great.
So please join us next Monday night.
I'll be there.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that. And so anyway, thanks for joining me, Nora. Thank you, Rick, if you're still listening. And thank you, audience, for listening to us tonight. And have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your week. And I'll see you next week. Peace out.
God bless.
God bless.